Well, she was here to help us kick off our very first show last Monday. And now Kasey Schwartz is here again, and we are cooking up something tasty in the kitchen for you. Hi, Kasey.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
I am so excited to be back. Thank you for having me.
What are we cooking up today?
Okay, we're going to cook up buffalo chicken dip. So I figured with football season is here, and this is my family's favorite recipe.
Wow.
That we make, and we also take it everywhere with us. People love it.
Oh, okay.
It's very easy, but people love it, and so we just make it all the time.
I only see, you know, like 6 ingredients.
Yeah,
well,
it's
5 ingredients.
really simple. So this is actually canned chicken. You could use a rotisserie chicken or chicken breast, but I found that this is really easy. And so it's 2 10-ounce cans, or sometimes they have like the bonus cans that are 15 ounces for free, and that's perfectly fine. You drain it. Okay. Yes, you do drain it. We have shredded cheese, hot sauce, and ranch dressing, and cream cheese. So
these are all good ingredients separately, but put them together and it just sounds amazing.
Exactly, exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the chicken to the pan. Okay, this is really easy. We're going to heat it, and we're going to cook this throughout the show. So we're going to come back, but I'm going to do a couple steps now.
Sure. Now, on your website, All Things Mama, you have a section called All Things Food.
Right.
Is this on there?
It is. And you know what? If you go today, there is a whole list of about 15 football appetizer recipes, including this, that you can check out and you know, make at home.
So
this is Frank's Red Hot Sauce. Okay, you could use any hot sauce that you like. This is another recipe that you can just really use your favorites.
And I'm sure someone can take the recipe and just kind of tweak it a little bit.
You could.
I mean, that's kind of the fun in cooking, right?
Exactly.
Now, how popular has this recipe been for you, and how often do you get to make it? Because it sounds like you make it all the time.
Well, we make it a lot during football season because we go to parties or we go to family gatherings, and so we'll make it a lot during that time. But this recipe has been huge on my site. I had no idea. It was one of those recipes that I didn't really plan. I had to go somewhere, and I just snapped a few photos, put it on the blog, and it's just been crazy.
And you didn't even like the photos that you put on there.
No, I didn't even. And I've not changed them because people love it. I mean, it was on New Year's Eve, actually. That day, this recipe shut down my website because there were so many people on there trying to get it that it knocked my website out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So there was like 20,000 people in one day was coming for buffalo chicken dip.
Okay, so we've got football, we've got New Year's Eve. Any other occasions when this would be
I
ideal?
think anytime.
Anytime you want buffalo chicken dip.
Right.
Now, since this is kind of spicy, you know, nice and red there.
Yeah.
Can the kids eat it?
I think so. You know, you can adjust the spice level to your liking. So I use a medium because I figure that's, you know, it's not mild, it's not hot, it's for anyone. So it'll be good.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I'm just mixing this and heating this through. So I'm going to heat that through. But the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and add in your shredded cheese.
Okay.
So this is about 1.5 cups of shredded cheese.
Okay.
So we're going to really mix that through. I'm saving a little to put on the top when we're done.
Just to cheese in there.
Yeah. The next thing you're going to do is I have 2 blocks of cream
that's
cheese.
so much.
I know.
That is so
but
much.
You know what?
You can just dump them in there.
Oh, you just dump it in. You dump it in, and then, you know, we're going to melt it throughout the show. It's going to take a little while, so we'll come back and we'll deal with that a little bit later. But once this is all melted, which is going to take a little while, obviously, is we're going to add in the ranch dressing. We're going to mix it all together.
Okay. So
I'm turning up the heat here.
Yeah. Now, Kasey, talk about your experience in the kitchen. Are you more of a recipe girl, or are you just kind of get in there and just throw some stuff together and make it happen?
Both. Really both. I mean, my mom was an amazing cook, and her recipes were always like, you know, add a little cheese, add a little ranch dressing, you know, and you're good to go. So she once gave me a recipe book for Christmas with all the family recipes, and there were no measurements on a lot of things. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I'll just add it and mix it together. But if it's a new recipe, then a lot of times then I just go ahead and go by the recipe and then tweak it as I go.
Yeah. And that's the fun in it.
Right.
You know, because the next time you make it, it might taste a little bit different. It
Exactly.
might taste a little bit better.
Right.
What is your go-to can't fail dish?
Well, this is one of my favorites, but my favorite that my kids like is that they love this creamy tomato pasta that I make.
Okay.
And it has tomatoes and cream and basil, and it's just amazing. So if I have to make a dish to go to like a new family, I love to make meals for new families, people that are sick, people that have babies. I'll make that because it's delicious and people love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kasey, Kasey, you will be
Yeah,
back later in
I
the show,
will.
and we'll sample this because right
Okay.
now it's taking the cream cheese.
It is.
It's taking the cheese a little bit longer to melt.
Every time you cook somewhere that you're not at home, it's always different. So we'll get it done. It'll be great.
All right. In the meantime, you can find her online at allthingsmama.com. Again, we'll be visiting with Kasey a little bit later in the show. We are back in the kitchen where Kasey Schwartz is whipping up some of her magic. How's it look?
Here it is.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's all done.
Yes, it is.
Got a slow start a little
We
bit.
did. You know, you're just not used to cooking on a stove that's not your own. And
Right,
sometimes things
absolutely.
work differently and you just go with it. So
Yeah.
what you did not see was that after I got the cheese all melted, then I put the ranch dressing in, which is about a cup of ranch dressing, and you just mix it all together and just continue to heat it through.
Is that the last step in
Yeah,
that
that's
process?
the last step. And then you have a couple of options. You can then transfer it to your crock pot, and then you can take it places with you, keep it on low throughout the day, or you can even put it in a dish like this, and then cover it with cheese, put it in the oven, get it all bubbly and cheesy and melted. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So
Now, you've got 3 kids and a husband.
do.
What do they think about this dip? Are they just in love with it?
They do, especially my husband. His family, they love it. It's actually a funny joke because one time we have big family dinners and I was asking what I could bring and someone said, "Oh, bring that wonderful buffalo chicken dip you make," which I had never made.
But you know, if people are requesting something like
That's
that,
right.
you're like, oh, well, I really got off
Okay.
easy because this only has like 5 ingredients.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can throw it together and boom, we're done.
Right. So I made it and now I have to bring it all the time. So it works out really well.
Yeah. So what are some other complimentary foods or snacks we can eat with this? I see you brought
Right.
some veggies, which
I
are
did.
healthy, but
I
then we
did.
got some chips and some
Right.
pita.
So of course, you know, any kind of veggies, I like carrots and celery. These are Frito scoops. Get the big ones so you can get a really big bite. These are Stacy's pita chips. Love those. But you know, you could do different crackers, like just a variety of crackers and things like that. So just really whatever you like to dip into your dip.
Yeah, I mean, presentation is everything. You really
Right.
made it look really good.
Thank you.
So you've gained a lot of popularity through your website, All Things Mama.
Yeah.
How important has the web and social media been for you in connecting with other women out there?
You know, it's been huge. I started out as just blogging about my family, just stories. I don't have family in town, so I wanted them to just see our life. And then it evolved to connecting with other moms that have blogs and also just my friends. And then talking about our families, products that help, tips, recipes, crafts. It's just kind of exploded. So I'm just really blessed and thankful.
How long have you been at it?
I actually started about 7 years ago, so just slow start, and then I would do a little bit here and there with some reviews from brands and companies, and then really went full-time this past November and just dove in, and it's just been amazing.
Yeah. What are the ages of your kids?
I have a little girl that's 3, her name's Sydney, and a son, Andrew, who's 7, and Ella is 9.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead and dig in.
Yeah, I'm just going to dig in right
try
here
it.
because, you know, I'm just going to mess it up.
Right. I have a feeling it's not going to leave the station.
No, it's
with
not going to
me.
leave the station. Now, in addition to the food on your website, you really got your bases covered. What are some other things that we can see on there besides food?
You know, like I said, we do talk about different products that will be helpful in your life from different companies, food. Yeah.
good.
Do you like it? Okay, good. There's crafts on there, so fall crafts, Christmas, recipes, DIY projects. I love to talk about decor in my home and, you know, how to make your porch look nice and flowers, and it's just really everything. So that's why it's called All Things Mama.
Yeah.
For your family, home, and life.
Now, the recipes that you have on there, are these recipes that you came up with? Are they kind of borrowed from somebody else?
Yeah,
And
it's
have you tried them all?
Everything on my site I've tried.
Okay.
So everything that you see, unless it says it's a guest post, because I do have some people that blog for me also. So that's really great. But I've tried everything. Some are family recipes. Some are recipes from brands that they've asked me to create for them, like Hormel. You know, they've contacted me and wanted me to do recipes, Sargento, companies like that. So then we'll create something. Sometimes they have some guidelines, and we'll do that. But
Yeah, that
most
sounds like
everything.
sounds like a lot of fun,
It
being
is, it
creative.
is, yeah.
And you said you've been doing the blogging and all that for about 7 years.
I have, yes, and it's just been wonderful.
Yeah. So, and your kids are in school now, right?
They are. They're well, I have one at home, and you know, I've had a daycare for 10 years. So I've done that since my kids were my first one as a baby, and then I've transitioned away from that now and just do blogging full time. And my 2 older kids are at school, and Sydney's at home. So you know, just throughout the day, I'll blog throughout the day. It really is a full full-time job. I don't think people realize that. So that's what I do now. But I can do it on my own time, which is really nice. So,
yeah, that is good.
Yeah.
You're the boss of you.
That's right.
Now, besides her website, you can also find Kasey on Facebook. She's on Twitter. She's on Instagram and Pinterest with the handle
Yes.
All Things Mama.
Everywhere.
Kasey, thanks so much for being here. We're going to jump
Thank
into this
you.
dip in a little bit.